Hello there, welcome to Brian Lomax's Movie Talk and welcome to my latest Blu-ray update video. Let's get straight into it with the latest Blu-rays that I've been buying recently. First up, Gladiator, contender for Best Russell Crowe movie. I also like LA Confidential quite a lot. But yeah, also contender for Best Ridley Scott film. I think this is my favourite Ridley Scott film, actually. I did do a top 10 Ridley Scott movies, and I think this came out on top, so that would make sense. This is the extended cut, which I've not seen. I know they've not kind of put a lot in. I think there's only like 10 minutes or so that they've added. But I'd still be interested to see it. And I don't own the film on Blu-ray anyway, until now, obviously. So yeah. Cracking purchase. Next up is Eye in the Sky. This made my top 10 movies of last year. It's an incredible screenplay from Guy Hubbard. Fantastic writer. He also wrote, A United Kingdom. I thought the screenplay for that as well was quite incredible. I don't think that film was directed as well as this film is. But I think the strength of the screenplay definitely won out, definitely showed, and the performances as well. But here, yeah, everything is on form. Great screenplay, great direction from Gavin Hood, and fantastic performances all round. Helen Mirren obviously is going to be great, but Alan Rickman, one of his final roles, he's just incredible in it. It's one of them films where there's a lot of moral grey areas in it, and you think you side on a particular side, and then by the time you get to the film, you don't even know where to begin. You don't know who's right, who's wrong, what the best moral position is. It's one of those kind of films, and that's why I love it, because it really makes you think. Next up is John Wick. This is a film that I didn't rate particularly highly when it first came out. I'd heard a lot of hype about it. Best action film in like 20 years, this, that and the other. And I saw it and I was a bit let down. But to be honest, I think I was probably a bit overtired when I first watched it. Wasn't that engaged. I saw it a second time. I loved it, primarily because I watched Chapter 2. I watched John Wick Chapter 2, thought that was an incredible action film, made me want to go back and see this with fresh eyes, and when I did, I thought, that's really good. What was I smoking the first time I watched this? Like I said, I think I probably was just a bit too tired first time I saw it, but on repeat viewing, it really holds up. Really good action film. Still think I prefer Chapter 2 over this one, but even so, excellent film. Keanu Reeves is a really incredible action star when you think about it. He's on a part, like when you look at his roster of films, they're up there with the likes of Arnie. When you think about how many incredible action movies he's done. John Wick 1 and 2, Speed, The Matrix, Point Break. Excellent. Next up is The Revenant. Alejandro González Iñárritu, brilliant turn from him as director, and a great performance that finally won Leonardo DiCaprio the Best Actor Oscar. About time. Tom Hardy is fantastic in this as well. Very twisted kind of character in this, and very loosely based on a true story. Like I say, I don't know how much of it is actual fact, but yeah, just to know that somebody did that he went out in those conditions, it's pretty harsh. Gotta say, I don't think I'd survive 5 minutes if it was me. Seeing them film in really harsh conditions as well, knowing that actually DiCaprio was genuinely being put through the ringer, it shows. Next up is Spartacus. Pick this up for my Stanley Kubrick season that I've been doing. I will get around to this at some point. We'll get back to my Stanley Kubrick movies. It's pretty hard with something like this, just trying to fit it in, because it's about 3 hours in it, 3.5 hours, something like that. Let me have a look. Yes, 3 hours 16 minutes, because of course this is the extended version. It's been a long time since I've seen this, and I remember it being very much like Gladiator, or the other way around. Obviously, Gladiator came after, so that's very much like this. Next up is The Master. Paul Thomas Anderson is one of my favourite filmmakers, primarily because of Magnolia and There Will Be Blood, and also Punch Drunk Love, which I really like. This, to me, I've only seen it once, but it was, well, until I saw Inherent Vice, this was probably my least favourite Paul Thomas Anderson film. I think the performances in it were absolutely credible, and it's got my favourite actor in it, Philip Seymour Hoffman, and my favourite actress, Amy Adams. So, you know, I was expecting big things, and I think I was a little disappointed, to be honest. But it's one of them films that, even though it was a little bit disappointing, even though I didn't know why I didn't like it as much, it never left my brain. You know, it was one of them that you still think about, you still mull it over, even when you've left it and it's been gone a long while. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to watch it again. I'm going to see if my opinion changes, because it can do. So yeah, we'll see. I'm not sure you'll be able to change my opinion on Inherent Vice, though. I do own that on DVD. Maybe one day I can bring myself to watch it again. I wasn't that keen, I must say. The first misfire from Paul Thomas Anderson, I think, personally. Great performances and all, but yeah, as a film, not so much. Next up is The Help. I love this film. I think it's really great. Anyone who watched Hidden Figures and really loved that film, check this out if you haven't seen it, because it has a very similar kind of flavour to it, very similar kind of subject matter, but I personally think this is the better film. And that's not a diss on Hidden Figures. I think Hidden Figures was a really good film. I just think this does it better. Great performance by Viola Davis. And yeah, just really well directed. I love what's her name? Both Bryce Dallas Howard, but the woman who everyone says looks like Jessica Chastain. Jessica Chastain in this is really great as well. Kind of a bit of a mixed up character, but someone I just feel really, I don't know, compassion for, I guess is the right word. But yeah, like I say, great performances all round, and some really funny moments as well. One involving a cake, which I won't ruin for anyone if they've not seen it. Next up, another really underrated film, I'd say, is The Raven. I like this director, I must say. This is the director of V for Vendetta. Now, I think a lot of people give credit to the Wachowskis for that, but I honestly see... I need to check his name. I forgot his name. James McTeague. I always forget his name. But I do see flourishes, those kind of V for Vendetta flourishes throughout McTeague's work, you know, even when he's not working with the Wachowskis. So I think it's unfair to kind of give all the credit to Wachowskis for that. I think he did direct V for Vendetta, and I think it shows. I think it shows throughout his other work. I don't think any of his other films have lived up to how good V for Vendetta is, which, you know, it is one of my favourite films of all time. But they often get overlooked and they often get underrated. I think Ninja Assassin is a really great guilty pleasure. Fantastic action movie. There's another one of his that I saw, but I can't remember. But anyway, this, really underrated. It's quite a good chiller. Kind of revolves around murders based on the Edgar Allan Poe stories. And I just, yeah, I like the central performance by John Cusack. I really love Brendan Gleeson in anything, quite frankly. If Brendan Gleeson's in it, I'll watch it. But I like the atmosphere of this film. I like the cinematography. Yeah. It's a good mystery serial killer thriller type film. Like I say, unfairly looked over, unfairly maligned. And speaking of unfairly maligned, is a theme in this video, I think. Transcendence. No way did this deserve the level of hate it got. Okay, it's not Inception, you know, but it's a pretty good science fiction film, I think. It deals with, you know, the big themes that all the great science fiction films deal with. And I just, yeah. Again, Johnny Depp giving a performance, you know, playing a part as an actor that doesn't require makeup and all that kind of nonsense. I like it. Wally Pfister, you know, he does a good job with this. I think it's tricky material to adapt, because when you're dealing with AI, you're dealing with someone in a computer who's become a computer. You know, if there's anything I'd criticise, it'd be that we see Johnny Depp for the most part through a TV monitor. But I think Wally Pfister does a really good job in the directing stakes, and the film looks beautiful, as you'd expect. You know, he's not cinematographer on this, but clearly when you get a cinematographer as skilled and who's had such a long career as Wally Pfister has had, that is going to trickle in to the overall look and feel of the film, regardless of who is shooting it as DOP. So yeah, it definitely has his style on it. And when I say his style, you know, you look at the Dark Knight, you look at the Dark Knight trilogy. In fact, all those films that Pfister worked on with Christopher Nolan, you see a lot of that style here. Yeah, you know, I think it helps that a lot of the actors that Nolan works with are in this film as well. Yeah, so you know, I obviously wouldn't put it up there on the same level with Nolan's best work, but I just think it's been really unfairly kind of, yeah, binned really by most people. Like the scathing reviews that came out for this when it came out, I just think it just overboard, really overboard. Next up is the Kidnapping of Freddie Heineken. I bought this, as you can see, for £1 from a charity shop, RSPCA. Not seen it, but I like Sam Worthington, as I've said before on my channel. Time and time again, I see this guy in films and like him. I think I'm in the minority on that. I know he's not the best actor in the world, but I think he's got something. He's got that star quality, and I like his personality that comes through in each of his roles. And obviously, Anthony Hopkins. You know, I'll watch anything with Anthony Hopkins in. I don't think this is going to be particularly good. I can't say I've seen many great reviews for it, but I just thought, you know what, for £1, it's got some actors in I like, I'll give it a watch, and if I don't like it, it'll go back to the charity shop. But there you go. That is all of the latest pickups that I have made. If you've seen any of these films and you want to comment on them, just let me know what you thought about them, then please do so down in the comments section below. But until next time, crack in.